to introduce the children's story speaker this morning. Our children's story speaker is Dr. Neera Bonner. She is initially from India. Her education is she's an MD from Osmania University College of Medicine, and a residency and fellowship in pediatrics and allergy immunology from, where did you do your residency? Johns Hopkins. And she has her master's in public health from Johns Hopkins as well. She has served as Assistant Health Commissioner in Baltimore City, Maryland, Director of Children's Health in Maryland, Department of Health, and a physician in the Murdoch Center for Adults and Children in North Carolina, where she retired from. She's the wife of Dr. Mac Bonner, who is giving our sermon today. Amen.
Boys and girls? Good morning. How are you today? Good. I don't know about you, but I'm rather hungry. How about you? Yeah? I get very hungry at church. Now, I have a little bag of snack. Okay, let's see. What's in that little bag of snack? Maybe you will help me find what I packed. Open that up. What do I have in there? Ooh, what's that? How many slices of apples are there? Ooh, I think I find 5 slices of apples. Okay. 1 and 2 fruit bars. I don't think that's enough to satisfy my hunger, let alone share with each and every one of you. What do you think? That's not enough, is it? No. We have a problem. How many children do we have? 1, 2, 3. Boy, we have lots of children. We just have 2 little slices, 5 slices of apples and 2 fruit bars. Well, this goes to our story of this morning. And this story is told by all the 4 gospel writers. And who are all the 4 gospel writers? Name them. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. All four of them wrote this special miracle next only to the resurrection. It was the only miracle next to the resurrection that was mentioned by all the four gospel writers. And what is special about this miracle is there's the story of the little boy. That's a great story. One day, Jesus and his disciples spent all the time preaching and healing. By this time, people knew about Jesus and his words and how he spoke the truth and shared the love of God. And they witnessed many miracles, like the daughter of Jairus. Remember, they thought she was dead, but Jesus touched her and said, "Rise," and she rose up. And he healed the sick. And he gave vision to the blind. So people wanted to hear Jesus and see him and be healed. But this particular day, Jesus and his disciples were very tired, and they wanted to go to a quiet place to rest and pray and talk together. And so they went by boat across the Sea of Galilee to be together in private and relax. But when they reached their place of rest, to their amazement, they found a huge crowd of people. Well, is this a big crowd of people? I think so, but how many people were there? Many, many, many people. And the Bible writers tell us that there were 5,000 men, not counting women and children. We don't know how many women and children, but I guess there'd be lots and lots of them. Well, they wanted to hear more about Jesus, although Jesus and his disciples were so tired. They wanted to rest, but Jesus was so full of love for these people, and he was so kind because the people really wanted to hear from Jesus the love of God, and he wanted to be witnessing the miracles of healing. So they brought all their sick people, and they stayed there, and the day was spent, and it was getting late. And this was in a very remote part of the country, and there were no nearby places to go eat. So the disciples said, "Master, the day is getting late. Let the people go and get themselves something to eat." What did Jesus say? "You feed them." And the disciples were astonished and shocked and said, "Master, we have no food." He said, "Go feed them." And then Andrew found a little boy who had a little basket of lunch. The little boy had a little basket of lunch, and the boy gave his lunch to Jesus. And what did his lunch contain? Do you know? What?
Two loaves of bread and 4 fishes.
2 small fishes and 5 small loaves of bread. That was enough for that little boy. Just enough for him. But the little boy, he didn't think, "Oh, I'm hungry. I have to eat this food. I'm giving this away." But he willingly gave the food, his lunch, to Andrew, the disciple of Jesus. And Jesus said, "Bring the food." And what did Jesus do? Accept the little boy's lunch. And he looked up to heaven and prayed over the food and blessed the food. And he broke the bread and divided the fishes and told his disciples to have all the people sit down in groups of 50 and 100 on the grass. And he told them to go feed them till they were satisfied. Not only did they have a little bit, they had a lot. They had a lot to eat and drink. And Matthew says they all ate and were satisfied, and the disciples picked up 12 basketfuls of broken pieces that were left over. So can you imagine this little basket of food became 12 big baskets of leftover food, and everybody ate and drank. Now, why is this story so important, boys and girls? Because this is a miracle that a little boy was a big part of. He shared his little lunch with Jesus, and he blessed so many people with food and drink. So, and Jesus says, Do you know of this verse when he says, I am the bread of life. Anyone who comes to me will never go hungry, and anyone who believes in me will never be thirsty. Would you like to be like that little boy who shared his little lunch and give you a little something in Jesus' hand? A little something that you give to Jesus becomes a very big thing that blesses many. Who would like to pray?
Hey, dear God, thank you for waking us up. Amen.
Dear Father, just as Jesus used the little lunch that the small boy offered, may you bless each and every one of these little children that you presented to us. May they in turn be a blessing to all that they need. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.